Welcome back, everybody. This is Yawgmoth here, and I'll be helping you guys learn how to do the Tauren Creant quest line. I'll be using Vorloff.com's quest guide and map, as you see to the right over here. I recommend that you be at least 30,000 hit points and 20,000 mana points with the Died spell, and I recommend you bring some way of curing poison, whether it be the Divnum potion or the AO poison spell from a priest or a monk. I'll be showing you how to solo this as a rogue. You do not necessarily need to be as strong as me or have the same traps as I do. Maiden trap will be sufficient enough. All right, so let's kind of get on to the next area, and I'll kind of speed on through here. Now the monsters in these areas are pretty weak, so you have nothing to fear. You can kind of walk through. As you can see, they're not really hostile. The exit to this map is a little bit south from center, so we'll be heading down that way. It can be annoying to navigate through these trees. Feel free to use the tab map if at all possible. And what we're looking for is a couple lampposts. This map does kind of look like something out of Narnia or some fairy tale. It is used sometimes for events, so some of the administration and other players with special abilities will be able to host events up here, and it can be a fun time. In this last map, map 6, I want you guys to head more to the north because along the edge of the map there are less trees, and we have to exit through this part of the map anyway, so it's a lot less annoying to get there. The next room would be a little bit difficult, so I definitely recommend you guys using hide to get through it, and it's a little bit narrow, so some of the monsters could block your path. If you have a skill like ambush or shadow figure, you can hop to the other side of them. Otherwise, you can just wait until they move out of the way. You can see the monsters here have around 100,000 to 200,000 hit points, and they don't give that great of experience. So I definitely don't recommend farming here, but these monsters are in the level 90 range. In this map, it's less dense and less packed with creatures. It's pretty wide open. We're going to head to the other side. You do not necessarily need to be cloaked. I've never had any issues with monsters trying to kill me here. But if you are scared, you can use the hide ability. But once we make it to the other side of the map, we're definitely going to use hide through the next areas because those are top level hunting zones, as you'll see here. So make sure you have hide, walk on in, and we can take a look at one of these wolves here in a moment. And we can see it has 800,000 hit points, 1.3 million experience points, and holy attack and holy defense. They will spam spells at you pretty fast, so if they do see you, you want to get off the map really quickly to lose aggro, or you will die if you have that 30,000 hit point mark. I have 100 and some thousand, so I'm pretty fine. I can walk through here without any protection spells. But I'm using hide just because it's a lot more simple and easy to do. Now in this last map, it's another wide open map. The monsters here are pretty strong, so I wouldn't recommend aggroing them. You can walk through unhidden if you want, like the monsters will come after you though. So if you are around the 30,000 hit point mark, just play it safe and stay hidden. The exit that we want to get through, if we use our map, is going to be like a little hole in the wall on the other side, but it's going to be a little bit south from center from when we're entering, so you can see I'm kind of making my way down and over, trying to choose whichever path through the forest I can go the most straight lines in. Now this is the ice caves, and here we're going to want to talk to or click on 9 different altars. Definitely recommend being invisible here, as these wolves will get in your way and cast poison and possibly pram on you, and it can be annoying. They are level 90 hunting area wolves, so they're not like the mob rooms with the 800,000 hit points. They're around 100,000 to 200,000 hit points, and they can get in the way. I'd rather not deal with them. You can see how easy it is to just walk through while hidden. The location of each of these altars is given on the map in Vorloff.com. You can see them to the right. It tells me what rooms to walk into, so I'm not walking into any unnecessary rooms and wasting time. Now these wolves up here are kind of in the way. I can't quite get through them, so I can try to unhide and lure them away, and then just kind of get through them real quickly and re-hide. If you hide fast enough and they don't actually aggro you, you're pretty good, but if they see you and then you hide, they'll keep coming at you. So we're hiding again, and we're gonna get pretty much all of these altars. Now if you are strong enough, you can kill your way through here or spam some spells, like Star Arrow 10 works pretty nice, even though most of them have holy or dark defense, but they will randomly spawn as holy defense, and these wolves are the ones that will spam you with possibly prom sometimes and poison, so If you only have potions to get rid of the poison, then just kind of stay hidden and not really worry about it too much, because you don't want to necessarily waste your potions. So in this next room, we're going to be into the boss summon room, and what we're going to do is lure a lot of the wolves to the bottom side of the room so we can fight the boss on the top side. These wolves I have, even as strong as I am, if I kill them fast, they'll respawn before I kill the Kel'Barath. So it's best if I just lure them to the south side of the room and then kill the boss by himself up on top. Now if you don't have a move like Shadow Figure or Ambush, I definitely recommend being careful, because you could get stuck and you might have to like song out or whatnot. Or you can lure them and stay near a doorway, so if you do get stuck you can just walk out the door. As you can see, they cast poison on me, so I'm AoEing that. It does tick a lot on me with 100,000 hit points. So I'm trying to get all these wolves, and I'm using some blind traps to keep them from following me. I'm trying to get all these wolves down to the south, because if these wolves are far enough off screen, they will not come at you or target you. And then thus they will not hit me with like prom all the time and poison while I'm trying to kill the boss. Now I'm going to exit through this one room and come through the other side, because that way, you know, I've lost aggro and the monsters will stay where they are. In kind of these earlier areas in Tenure, not so much in Medenia, monsters don't actually move if you're not in the room. So as long as I left the room, they'll stay in their position, and they stay kind of hidden. I mean, not hidden, but blind. So I'm going to move up on top. I have one wolf following me. I'm trying to lose aggro, but I'm going to walk back in. And now I'm going to start laying traps up here. If you have maiden traps, that'll work too. I definitely recommend poisoning the Kel'Barath before you do the maiden traps, because you're going to do far less damage than I am. I'm using pitfall traps. Pitfall traps do 4 times the damage of maiden, so I can use 4 times less. I'm dropping coins here to remind myself where my traps are and to make sure I can coax the Kel'Barath onto them. And you know, if one of these straggler wolves come up, perhaps you're strong enough to just switch to a dark necklace and kill that guy. If you're a rogue, Assassin Strike once should usually be strong enough if you have maximum strength and maximum dex. If not, you can Assassin Strike him, Amnesia, Assassin Strike again, or Rare Strike or whatnot. Okay. So to summon the Kel'Barath, you simply have to type Kel'Barath, and even though he is large, he will fit through these small areas, and as he gets close, I will read his hit points and stuff for you guys and see his attack nature. So he's got about 1.5 million hit points, means you'll need about 150 maiden traps, or roughly around 35 or so pitfall traps. He is light defense, and so you can attack him. Now he has high magic resistance, so it's almost nearly impossible, but not necessarily impossible. You can crad him and curse him. It'll just be really frustrating to do so. He can be fought relatively easy because the double element nature spell does not actually count as an offensive spell. It's actually counted as a buff. So you can double his defensive element and use a light necklace to kill him. Now if you're not a rogue, then you'll probably want to come here as a warrior or with a warrior priest, and a wizard, or a combination class, and cast Foss on him, and then just heal the warrior while he kills him. The Kel'Barath doesn't do too much damage for your armor class, maybe around 10,000 hit points at most, and sometimes he hits for around 3,000 hit points, so it's not too bad. He can be healed through. So now we'll head to the next area. We have to come back the way we came, and we're going to go back through the mob rooms, except we're going to head south through the mob rooms into the next area. Remember to be hidden through here, and these mob rooms can be pretty frustrating because the creatures can clog the areas and prevent you from getting through by blocking, so Shadow Figure is really nice if you have it, or if you get the subclass version of it. Even though it has a lower or longer cooldown, you will not be blocked that often. So we'll continue on south. Now in this map, the NPC is located in kind of the upper middle part of the map, so I'll be kind of doing up and over, and what I'm looking for on my map is kind of like this circular area with one empty spot, and there's the NPCs in it. You can see the monsters are a little bit aggressive here, so if you're around that 30k hit point mark, you're going to want to make sure you're invisible. Now, you don't necessarily have to be transformed into a goblin here for all the NPCs to talk to you. This is more just for fun, for role-playing purposes. It might have been once upon a time where you had to maintain the goblin form, but it's not necessary. So once we're in this 4-cross room, we'll go right, and we'll go up, and we'll talk to the first goblin, and we'll tell him some things, and he's going to tell us some things, and then we're going to leave the room and go across the hall in the 4-cross room to the other side, because we need a key. So we'll head up on top. Now in this room, 2 giant goblin bosses will spawn. They're pretty weak, so we're going to lay some traps down. They have about 1 million hit points. One of them will spawn with a lot of defense. The other one will spawn with not a lot of defense. So one of them will take a while to kill, the other will die pretty quickly. So I recommend putting down a decent amount of traps. I'm multi-stacking traps, so I'm laying 5 traps in one spot, so that way a creature would have to walk onto that tile 5 times and he'll get hit by 5 individual traps. If you have maiden traps, I recommend doing perhaps a little bit bigger of a grid. Since maiden traps do 1/4 the damage, I recommend doing a 4 by maybe 10 grid, where since I'm doing pitfall traps, I can get away with doing 1 line of traps, but if you're doing maidens, perhaps do 3 or 4 lines of traps. And as you can see, this guy must be the strong one because he's not dying that fast to my traps. Now the animation here kind of sucks, where you can see it doesn't really look like he's walking on the grids that I am, but if you hit your tab map, you can kind of see they are actually there. I think this is the only place in the game where I've experienced this animation being off, but that's about it. Now our goal here is to get this blue key, so make sure you have this blue key before you leave, and then we'll go back across to the original goblin, tell him we got the key, and we'll get this high brass gauntlet for him, and then we'll go to the boss room to summon the boss. Just have to talk to this NPC right here. We got the high brass gauntlet, and we can head out. So we'll head back to the 4-cross room, and we'll exit through the top part, and we'll go and summon the boss up there. So what we're going to do is lay our coins down again and lay a whole bunch of maiden traps. The boss here doesn't hit very hard, but he does have about 2 million hit points, so we're going to need a decent amount of traps. I'm going to lay a line of 5 traps and lay a line of 3 traps. If you are having the maiden trap, just lay as many maidens as you can. You can also put poisons down, and since the previous room is a hallway, you can poison him and then lay down you can put poison traps down, and you can lay down as much maidens as you can with your mana. Summon him, have him walk on the poison, walk on the maiden traps. You can go out into the hallway to take a break and allow your mana to reach full again, and then come back in and continue to maiden trap him. And while you're out there regenerating mana, he will be losing hit points to the poison, and he won't despawn, so you don't have to worry about that. So here we are, just killing the boss, luring him back and forth. You can see he's got 1.6 million hit points or so, and he has dark defense, so you want to use a light necklace if you plan to bash him. Now if you don't have Shadow Figure or Ambush for whatever reason, like maybe you're a rogue priest or a rogue wizard, you can just kind of walk around them like this, and they'll walk back. If you do it quick enough, you know, they'll just turn around and keep walking. And I'll just kind of do that a few more times. And that's what a nice thing about having a second line is if they walk onto the second line, you know, they're still taking damage the whole time. And there it is, folks. There's the 2 pieces of the Tauren set, Creant, and thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you to Ben Sound for the music.